It's charting time. This is part 2 of the TTAC Live Self-Study Guide video series, where we showcase the path to consistency and profitability whilst trading the financial markets by employing an epic, innovative trading tool, Pathfinder 317 Explosive Scalper Indicator. Check out part 1 of the video series if you haven't done so already to follow along. Let's get started. Let's focus on this screenshot of the US30 daily time frame, where we see the market making lower swing highs and continuously breaching swing lows, right from January 31st, 2025 to March 13th. What follows is a retracement move to March 26th, which exceeds 50% of the previous bearish move shown, signaling a potential downthrust and a market onslaught to take out subsequent swing lows. A doji indecision candle formed on April 1st, following the market rally that occurred on the previous day. We will now backtest Pathfinder 317 ES indicator on this doji indecision candle day to evaluate its performance, before proceeding with the live trade signals. Make a mental note of the market void marked by the pink arrow, as price tends to gravitate towards such gaps. Let's drop down to the hourly time frame for further analysis, shall we? With this top-down analysis, the hourly time frame is next to be tackled, focusing on that portion of price action analyzed on the daily time frame. We can see the bearish move right from the March 27th through to March 31st. The rally, which could potentially be the first leg of the corrective move, as well as the April 1st doji indecision candle that followed, all reflect distinctively here on the 1-hour time frame. A second leg of the rally is anticipated, one that will gravitate to the market void previously mentioned, before a subsequent market downthrust to take out swing lows. Let's now drop down to the 5-minute time frame, continuing with the top-down analysis. The current market price is seen right here live, April 2nd. We will first do some backtesting here by applying the indicator to the chart to see its performance on the indecision candle day. It's also good practice to check the market behavior in the run-up to the April 1st test period by examining the last few signals, as shown here on March 31st. We measure the moves from either the trigger candle open or the next candle open to obtain the maximum gains coupled with the negative move and annotate the trade signals accordingly. We see 4 impressive successive signal moves for this presumed first leg of the corrective move upwards. Back with the remaining trade signals already numbered so we can quickly examine the individual moves for April 1st. We're talking pure trade signal moves with no filtering. For each trade signal that was triggered, watch to compare the size of the positive move with that of the move that goes against the signal, denoted as negative figures. 19 consecutive epic moves in total. For a doji indecision day, these moves are simply amazing. It is worth noting that the positive move for each trade signal exceeds the corresponding negative move, a typical occurrence with this phenomenal indicator. This facilitates the process of drilling down to the 1-minute time frame for sniper entries and better stop-loss placement after signal generation on the 5-minute time frame. Liquidity, liquidity, liquidity zones. Can't stress that enough. A TTAC indicator that dynamically displays liquidity levels in the Asian, London, and New York sessions has been applied to the charts. On any given day, price will typically gravitate to majority of these levels, if not all. Previous daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly highs and lows are also plotted to the right of the active candle for ease of reference. Price also tends to oscillate about the daily open level, hence a custom day open line could be displayed as needed. You can see how these levels are breached as we scroll through the chart here. The candle timer seen here also comes in handy for scalpers. And the previous period highs and lows are strategically displayed here, enabling the trader to keep their finger on the pulse of any imminent move that may emerge from a higher time frame opposing levels. The input parameter settings allow all these features to be toggled on and off intermittently as and when required, helping to maintain a clutter-free chart. Key zones, key zones, key zones. Again, can't stress that enough. A TTAC indicator that dynamically displays key zones with multi-time frame functionality has been applied to the charts. In the upcoming video segments, you'll see how powerful these zones play out as they are delineated accurately. Whilst on the current chart, there is the option of selecting a higher time frame key zone from a drop-down list as demonstrated here, where the hourly time frame is now being selected from the menu to display those zones. Now reverting to the current time frame key zones by clicking and selecting the 5-minute option. a T-TAC indicator that dynamically displays price gaps and mid-levels with multi-timeframe functionality, has been applied to the charts. Identifying these gaps adds another layer of edge when trading, given that price tends to gravitate to these market voids at some point in time after they are formed. The gap lines are deleted when distal levels are breached to maintain a clutter-free chart. In the upcoming video segments, you'll see how the indicator plays out remarkably as price enters these market voids in real time. Again, the display of all these helper indicators that work in conjunction with Pathfinder 317ES indicator could be toggled on and off intermittently to maintain a clutter-free chart when the need to focus solely on price arises. The moment of truth is here. Let's now examine the individual live signals as they are generated. As seen here, the market made this push-up before the current downward move. These sell signals were then generated, offering impressive moves worth catching. Here you can see the T-TAC price gap detection indicator highlights the gaps for the current chart, that is, the 5-minute time frame. We now select the higher time frame gaps option, the 1 hour to be displayed, while still on the 5-minute chart to observe price reaction when the market enters this region. This helps to confirm the direction for that market phase when in doubt. These are higher time frame tricks worth exploiting here without having to switch charts back and forth. If you're finding value in this walkthrough video, hit the subscribe button, share this video with others, give it a like, and comment below. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell to be notified of future videos and the free upcoming live sessions. We get a further downward move as seen here. For those who still grapple with market structure analysis, the use of this optional feature in the T-TAC Key Zones Helper tool, where moving averages align in one direction and fan out visibly, may serve you well when in doubt. A quick glance here helps to confirm market direction. Let's now toggle off this feature and focus on price movements. Updating the sell signal moves. A new sell signal is triggered now at 15:25 GMT plus 2. Let's see what it has to offer. Note the liquidity levels for the New York session begin to plot and update dynamically as the market progresses. These vital levels are to be monitored as they serve as magnetic fields, where the market moves to target these levels on any given day after they are plotted. We get a buy signal at 1635 on the heels of a large range bar, which requires a pullback before any entry considerations are made. Remember, we expect the second leg of the rally to form before a down thrust to take out lows based on the top-down analysis conducted. This live buy signal has offered a whopping 120-point move so far, as denoted on the chart. We can now revert to displaying the current timeframe price gaps as shown here, following the distal level breach of the 1-hour timeframe price gap previously displayed. The violation of the higher timeframe price gap distal level by this sudden upthrust is indicative of a further upward momentum. We can now expect higher prices until a higher timeframe opposing key zone is reached. Let's see how this bullish signal plays out in the grand scheme of things. Watch how the New York session upper liquidity zone gets breached as anticipated. We can see the new price gap displayed here. Now, Pathfinder 317ES indicator is so versatile. Input parameter adjustments allow for increased signal generation to enable more entries that add to existing positions. Alternatively, entries could be made at the price gap's proximal or mid-level, only and only if the predetermined exit level is within a considerable distance relative to the entry level, offering a good risk-to-reward ratio. Let's monitor what a hypothetical entry at this new price gap offers to demonstrate this process. Note this same buy signal upthrust goes on to breach the London session upper liquidity zone, wreaking havoc along the way. Ouch, I hear many cry. Well, it's not done yet, seeing as the Asian session upper liquidity zone is still intact. Chances are, it's going to deal with that liquidity pool too until it can gladly say, mission accomplished. Here we go again. The Asian session upper liquidity zone violated as envisioned. Clearly, this frequent occurrence is worth capitalizing on, hence the inclusion of these levels on the chart. We can now expect the unbreached previous day high to be violated with his increased bullish momentum. Whoa, the previous day high now violated with the buy signal move offering a massive 407 points so far. That's impressive. You can also gauge the hypothetical price gap mid-level entry has also offered decent gains as we speak, with no drawdown whatsoever. Let's disable the key zone's price label display as it is obscuring the previous period labels at this point. We get a retrace at the price gap proximal level this time before the upward move resumes. Moments later, we get a further market upthrust after the previous day high is violated. with price now entering the daily time frame market void identified in the top-down analysis. We can now update the buy signal move figures, 619 points and counting. It remains to be seen if we get a total gap fill in this second leg of the rally before the anticipated downward market onslaught to take out swing lows. A new buy signal now triggers at 22:35 on the heels of a pullback that takes out a swing low and a retest of the newly created zone seen here. We proceed to measure and annotate this signal move accordingly. Updating the figures, we can see it has offered a 133-point move with a negative move of just 5 points so far. Price makes a higher high with a sudden upthrust, following a pullback, adding more gains to the buy signal moves. With this massive upthrust, we now get a complete gap fill where the daily time frame market void was previously identified, signaling a potential turning point in the market. A swing high begins to form at a level that coincides with a higher time frame key zone, which is considered to be a predetermined target level. Let's now update the moves. That's 793 points for the first buy signal, and 393 points with a pullback of 65 points for the second buy signal. A sudden down thrust emerges from the key zone confluence, triggering a new sell signal at 23:30. And signaling the completion of the second leg of the rally referenced in the top-down analysis. Whoa, that's 132 points with a negative move of 8 points already. Note, pullback entries are highly recommended for trade signals that are immediately preceded by large range bars, offering a better risk to reward ratio as you drill down to the 1-minute time frame chart, as mentioned earlier. A second sell signal triggers at 23:40, which further indicates a strong downward momentum. We can now expect this unbreached New York session lower liquidity zone to be violated at some point in time as the swing low market onslaught begins with a vengeance. Let's change the gap color here so the sell signal is fully visible. You can see epic moves for each of these signals. The big question is, can you nail this phenomenal indicator like a pro? Drop your answers and share your thoughts in the designated comments section. Also, do express your interest in attending the free upcoming TTAC Live sessions by typing TTAC Live. I'm game. Note the importance of marking out key zones accurately. See how a move from the upper to lower key zone offered a whopping 936 points. Adjusting input parameters triggers signals based on an aggressive or a conservative entry approach, catering to the needs of different traders. In this scenario, we've seen impressive trade signal moves so far. And with the anticipated downward market onslaught, massive gains are highly probable, seeing as the top-down analysis is playing out as envisioned. Stay tuned as we continue to monitor these phenomenal sell signal moves. The market reopens with a massive gap down. Armed with these sell signals, who wouldn't want that? This underscores the importance identifying bullish and bearish flips in a timely fashion. The gap is shown more clearly now. The New York session lower liquidity zone, which ended up being the previous day low, has also been violated as anticipated, meaning all 6 session liquidity pools have been annihilated for April 2nd. Here we have a whopping 415-point measured move for the first sell signal so far. A third sell signal triggers at 1:05, shortly after the market reopens, which again is indicative of a strong downward momentum. We can now expect multiple swing lows to be taken out as the dominant trend has been established as bearish. That is a 154-point move already, with a negative move of 7 points for the latest sell signal. The first sell signal now updates to 557 points. Again, you will note that price emerged from a very strong key zone above. The confluence with higher timeframe key zones is demonstrated here as we select these input parameter timeframe options whilst trading on this current timeframe, the 5-minute chart. We can now revert to 5-minute key zones to be displayed. After the market reopened, the previous day high is also delineated right at the key zone, thereby orienting the trader to the relative position of the market price at any given time. Updating the moves, we have 796 and 393 points for the first and third sell signals respectively. Awesome moves, to say the least. It is worth noting that the markets can be very erratic under unfavorable conditions. Nailing the top-down analysis and establishing the directional bias collectively plays a pivotal role in trade signal filtering under these conditions. You're off to a good start by studying the markets extensively in conjunction with mastering Pathfinder 317ES indicator. Now, we will continue to monitor these epic sell signal moves to check the overall performance of Pathfinder 317ES indicator. Be sure to watch part 3 of this video series where more updates will be provided. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the designated comments section. It would be interesting to also share your preferred style of trading, that is, scalping, day trading, swing trading, or a hybrid of these trading styles. Your trading skill level would also shed light on what to expect at the free upcoming TTAC live study sessions. Be sure to attend and you'll never look back. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, give it a like, comment, share with others, and subscribe to this channel. Turn on the notification bell to be notified of future videos and the upcoming free TTAC live sessions. See you in the next one.